What is going on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts? Welcome back to the Binkz and Doodle Effect, presented to you by Lividity and Lividity Gaming. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, as always, and joining with me, Mr. DrewskiDoodles. How are you doing this week, Mr. DrewskiDoodle?
Better than I was about 5 days ago.
And why is
fully riddled with COVID, and now I'm doing a lot better, so that's good.
Can we just, if you're watching on YouTube, can we just have a like down below just for the legendary status of this man doing a podcast with COVID right now?
It's truly the least I could do.
We love you. We love you. Real quick, Rogue Energy, one of the biggest podcast sponsors. Premium energy focused supplement designed. Ooh, I got it open easy that time.
Nice pop.
Designed to optimize your mental and physical performance. It's a lot healthier than regular energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster. Drink Rogue Energy. If you use the code GetLivid, you get 5% off. I'm doing a live taste test. I'm not going to like it. It smells like grape cough medicine. It is grape popsicle. If you guys have watched other podcasts, I usually rave about the flavors. I don't know if I'm going to rave about this one. I can't promise you anything, but here we go. Oh, God.
Possible spit take incoming. Guys,
Okay.
not a grape. Huh?
All right, so background. If you like grape stuff, that's actually tastes a lot better than cough medicine. It smells like it, but it tastes nothing like medicine, if that makes sense. Like, it actually tastes...
Sure, buddy.
Yeah, that's not for me. But I'm going to continue to drink it throughout the podcast because I hate wasting shit.
Of course.
But definitely not for me. But if you like grape stuff, that's for you. But use the code GetLivid, 5% off your entire purchase. Hit it up. Link in the description below. Moving forward, Mr. DrewskiDoodle, you can take us into hockey.
We got 1 week away until hockey season, and I'm feeling an overcoming sense of joy that I haven't had in a very long time. Normally, it's an overcoming sense of doom because, half my years are spent rooting for the goddamn Mets. So hockey season's always a bright part. We got next Thursday, the 14th, is when most teams play. A couple teams start on the 13th. The Rangers and Islanders play on Thursday the 14th. Speaking of the Islanders, training camp has started, and Matt Barzal still doesn't have a contract. So he's officially a holdout. Is that going to last? Probably not. Is he going to get a stupid amount of money? Probably. Does he deserve it? Yeah. So I imagine we're going to be talking about that next week. Is a silly contract that he gets from the Islanders.
So I have a question for you then, Andrew.
Sure.
Because I'm not... I love hockey and everything. Contract-wise, relation to football, is that kind of like a...
It's easier for related to baseball. He's an RFA, like he's a restricted free agent. Yeah, he's not. He can only talk to the Islanders.
So
right
it's not like a franchise tag type of thing.
No. They don't do that. They don't have the money for that.
Got it. So technically, if he's a restricted free agent, could any team pick him up? Essentially,
no. That would be an unrestricted free agent. So restricted free agent.
My contract stops in the NFL.
Yeah, only the Islanders can talk to him unless another team is given permission.
Got it.
To talk to him via an offer sheet, which you don't normally really see in hockey. It's only happened a couple times.
So essentially, he's going to remain an Islander.
Yeah. They're gonna sign him in the next week.
Got it. All right, good to know. See, you learn something new every day. You listen to the Binkz and Doodle Effect. You learn about contract details in the NHL. I just learned something. Big brain. Boom. But Ryan Callahan retaring.
Yeah.
I was a big Ryan Callahan fan, honestly, when he was a Ranger.
Oh yeah, he was
awesome.
Captain.
Mm-hmm. My jinx of... See, now I say I don't believe in jinxes, but like every jersey I own of a player, that player either like retires or like leaves the team or gets traded. And I was in talks of getting a Ryan Callahan jersey, and like the next year, that man left the Rangers. I shit you not, every jersey I own that player leaves the team.
Yeah.
So I just stopped buying jerseys from people.
I get that.
Loved Ryan Callahan. Even when he left the Rangers, I still rooted for him, and I wanted to see him.
Gritty, hard-nosed hockey player.
Yeah,
just
good
nothing
guy.
flashy. Got the job done.
Good guy. Absolutely good guy. Great leader too.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward to college football real quick, my Fighting Irish, Notre Dame, lost to Alabama, which was definitely expected. And Clemson lost to Ohio State, which shook me. Now, I was someone who didn't think Ohio State should have been in the college playoffs because they played half the games. But they showed why they should be. So good, good for them.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Ohio State at versus Alabama for the national championship. I want to say Alabama is gonna be the national champion.
You'd think.
I want to say that.
You would definitely think with that quarterback wide receiver combo.
Yeah. Well, I also thought Clemson was going to like destroy Ohio State. So I mean,
but you know what?
That's that.
It's crazy. Like even like Trevor Lawrence could have had the game of his life, and he still wouldn't have won because Clemson could not stop Ohio State's offense. It was wild to watch. They could not do a damn thing about it.
Yeah, no, it's Ohio State definitely came to play.
Yeah.
Devonta Smith on Alabama won the Heisman. Breaking news kind of just happened, right before we started recording for this week. Do you think? Now, here's the thing. I don't even know if this is accurate though, because I actually didn't read to see if he actually said he was gonna go into the draft. But do you think now Trevor Lawrence holds out because he's not a national champion and he's not the Heisman winner? I mean, he's going into this NFL draft, thinking that he's going to win the Heisman and he's going to win the national championship. Do you think him losing? Do you think he doesn't go to the draft now?
Maybe the national championship. I don't think the Heisman plays into it. But if it does, that would. If I was the owner of a team, if he holds out because he just says forget the national championship, if he holds out because he didn't win the Heisman, that's a poor showing of character, and it's not someone I would want. That's super selfish. As far as the national championship goes, maybe, but I really don't think so. I personally, maybe it's because I personally don't really give a shit about college sports, but if I was in his position, I would just get into the NFL while I can. Who knows what's going to happen? Like we said before, months ago about him holding out if the Jets were going to pick him. What if he goes back to school and gets hurt really bad?
Exactly.
It's not worth it.
You don't risk not entering the NFL, in my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
he's going to enter the draft. He's going to go first. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, people, speculating that, he may still follow the Jets at number 2.
I'm not one of those people.
I can't. I would love for that rumor to be true, but I can't fathom any team passing on Trevor Lawrence because he's the best quarterback in the
You can't
draft.
let Justin Fields' one game overshadow Trevor Lawrence's entire college career.
Yeah. But going to the NFL, Week 17 is over, and Mr. DrewskiDoodle officially won the Thursday Night Football Challenge.
By one
game. So congratulations to Mr. DrewskiDoodle.
Thank you, sir.
I do owe you a beer whenever you're not sickly.
When I can actually drink beer again.
When you're not sickly ridden. So congratulations. I had a lot of fun doing that.
That was good.
We both went positive, though, so that's the most important thing.
That's better than the NFC East could say.
Exactly. We picked better than the NFC East played. We'll definitely touch on the NFC East later on in the cast, but who do you think right now, season's over, MVP?
I'm not saying this to be that kind of guy. I genuinely he's not gonna win. But if I was picking, I would pick Josh Allen. I think he has been so under the radar. He's just been so nasty. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Bills wouldn't be a playoff team without him. I think that if you put a middle-of-the-road quarterback on either Green Bay or Kansas City, they could at least make the playoffs. If you put a different quarterback in Buffalo, they're not going anywhere. That is my reasoning.
I respect that.
But if I'm picking from the top 2, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
See, now I'm happy you said an underrated pick because there's another quarterback that has gone completely under the radar this entire season, and I feel like no one is talking about him at all.
I know who you're going to say it. I'm very excited for you to say it.
Deshaun Watson.
Hell yeah.
My man led the league in passing yards, number 2 in quarterback rating, number 3 in passing completion percentage, and then number 1 in yards per attempt. completely under the radar because of the way the Texans played this year. But my man's a good quarterback, and he just completely silent on
because the
anything.
Texans suck. But like the Texans so easily could have been an absolute contender this year if they didn't trade away D-Hop.
Yeah,
literally. Like they threw away. The owner threw away a really good team, a really good shot at a title. Crazy. Yeah, Deshaun definitely.
And they lost their draft pick to the Dolphins. So it's not even like they can, they better do something good in the offseason with free agent signing or some sort of trade. But
they gotta.
I don't know if you saw the video of Watt walking off the sideline with Deshaun Watson. They were mic'd up, and Watt looked like absolutely distraught. He's like, I'm so sorry. And he was apologizing to Deshaun Watson, saying that we just, we wasted a year of your career. And that to me is like, what a teammete.
Number one, J.J. Watt, great locker room guy.
Great locker room guy, absolutely. But to say, we're sorry we wasted a year of your career, that's, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, man. Boom.
And it's so
earns
true.
my respect.
So true.
MVP, though. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, too.
Yeah, if I'm taking from the two that we expected to be down to, I'm picking Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Definitely, he was career, one of his best years in his career.
This was, his connection with Devontae Adams is ridiculous.
Oh, that dynamic duo is nasty. Seahawks, though. With the AFC and NFC playoff now picture happening. Do the Seahawks, are they in trouble? What do you think? What is going on with that offense? They are just not clicking.
Yeah, I mean, they're in trouble. I don't know how many people have them going past, say, the second round. Because I don't. The offense has been mediocre at best. The defense has been a lot better. I'll give them that. Because but Jamal Adams got hurt. I don't know what the extent of that injury is. So are they in trouble to not win a Super Bowl? Oh, yeah. I don't think they... Since week 10, I wouldn't have pegged them as a top 4 team to win the Super Bowl this year. But I think they'll beat the Rams, but then they're going to have an issue in the next round.
I agree with that. I think they can maybe... I think the Rams is going to be a close game due to the offense completely just not being there. But I think Goff sucks, like low-key. Yeah. So I can't see the Rams beating...
Their offense is just bad.
Yeah. I mean, Goff has a lot of... I mean, Woods, Kupp, and Akers is...
He's got firepower. He just
I think Goff sucks, yeah. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. We'll see.
The game's going to come down to turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%.
Because Rams have a great defense. If the Seahawks don't
turn the ball over, they'll win.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The Rams defense is going to have to win them that game.
100%. Without a doubt. And hopefully Jamal Adams plays for the Seahawks' sake.
Yeah, we also have the Browns, who officially made the playoffs for the first time since 2002. Congratulations.
Clap, clap, clap.
Congratulations. As much as I hate Baker Mayfield and I don't think he's a good quarterback, like, the man did it.
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit's due. I mean, I still don't think he's a good quarterback. And I think, like, another quarterback there could have done the same thing because they're, like, more run first and their defense is pretty nasty. But... yeah. Listen, he did it, and you can see how fired up he is and how passionate he is about that. Yeah. They're ridden with COVID, though. So how do you think? Do you think they're done, one and done with Pittsburgh first round?
100%. And I'm so down on Pittsburgh. I originally had Cleveland beating Pittsburgh, but when I woke up and saw that there's just more COVID cases, they're not going to have their head coach. There's no way Cleveland beats Pittsburgh. I don't see it happening.
I don't know. Pittsburgh's bad.
They are bad. They're bad.
Is so bad.
But I don't know. Cleveland's down. They almost lost to Pittsburgh with Pittsburgh's backups in, and now they don't have their head coach.
A hot take. This is going to be the hottest of takes. I think Pittsburgh is the worst team in the playoffs.
Listen, I'm not. If they're not the worst, they're not.
I think they're the worst team in the playoffs. Personally,
they're definitely. Like, if they're on, they're on. But they're even then, like, they're not. Again, they're kind of like the Seahawks. I think that they might win the wild card round, but I don't see them getting past the round after that. Especially, they're going to end up playing the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills. I personally think it's going to be Chiefs-Bills AFC Championship, and then on the NFC, I think it's going to be the Saints and the Packers. But
I pretty much see the same thing happening.
You can't not rely on Tom Brady in the playoffs, though. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good game, especially with Chase Young saying he wants Tom Brady. That should be a very good game. The Washington's the type of team that like they're the dark horse of these playoffs. Like they're that type of team. You don't know, they got a lot to play for. They got a lot of heart, and that defense is absolutely disgusting. And they have a great running back, and they got star power. Great running back, great wide receiver, and they got Alex Smith.
They do, and we'll see. I mean, Tampa Bay's defense in the beginning of the year was pretty stellar. And now, as you know, the weeks have gone by, it looks like their defense is kind of crumbling to an extent, and their offense is definitely clicking more. I don't know the situation with Mike Evans. I know he came off the field. If Mike Evans doesn't play for Tampa Bay now next week,
that's huge.
That is huge for Washington.
I think I saw something where they expect him to play, but it's early. You don't know what's going to happen. It's going to come down to Tampa's offensive line. They got to, be able to let Brady sit in the pocket.
Yeah, we all know Brady can't move, and that's not a dig.
He's not Lamar Jackson.
He is not a mobile quarterback. So
no.
If you pressure Brady and can get to him, it's definitely, that's one of the quarterbacks that just doesn't move in the pocket very well.
And they got to keep turnovers down, just like Seattle.
Yeah,
they got to keep turnovers down because Washington's defense scores more than their offense.
Oh, look at Alex Smith! What a comeback story! Man, thought he was going to die. Thought he was going to lose his leg. Thought he was never going to play football again. To lead a team into the playoffs. I mean, negative record. Look at the NFC East, but you made it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
you're hosting a playoff game, for that matter.
You know what? Beginning of the season, he wasn't starting. They're over 500, I think, with him as a starter.
He's a good quarterback.
They're a big time dark horse pick for me. I've been saying it for a couple weeks. I could definitely see them going kind of far. But also another dark horse for me is the Bears. I've been talking shit about the Bears for weeks, and they're making me look like an idiot. But David Montgomery is all of a sudden nasty. Mitch Trubisky has flashes of brilliance when he's not being an absolute moron. And they got Allen Robinson, which is always big. And their defense is great. So, like, if Kamara misses the game, and apparently they might get Michael Thomas back, but if Kamara misses that game, the Bears are going to win that game. That game comes down to Alvin Kamara playing or not.
That's a hot take.
I'm calling it right now. The Saints play so much better when Kamara is on the field. If Kamara misses that game, I am taking the Bears. But as of right now, he's supposed to play, so I'm taking the Saints. And they'll get Michael Thomas back, apparently. But yeah.
I'm excited for playoff football. We'll see. We'll definitely see.
All the games are going to be great. Every game is going to be very good.
Absolutely.
With the exception of maybe Buffalo and Indy.
That's two good defenses,
It is two very good defenses, but Buffalo, I think, is just an absolute freight train. It's going to steamroll its way to the AFC Championship.
We will see. So since you said that, I actually have a stat that I wanted to share with you that I didn't tell you before we started recording because I kind of want to see a live reaction. So, the wild card round is over. We go to the divisional round now. If the Chiefs win the divisional round and go to the AFC Championship, they are going to be the first team in the AFC ever in NFL history to host the AFC Championship game at home 3 years in a row. And that's not the wild part. The only other team to do it was in the NFC, and it was the 2002 to 2004 Eagles. And what do they have in common, Andrew? Same head coach, Andy Reid.
Oh, that's wild.
Same head coach.
That is wild. Is Andy Reid just fantastic?
Andy Reid, 2002-2004 Philadelphia Eagles went to the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row and hosted all 3 years. The Chiefs will host the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row if they win the divisional round, both led by Andy Reid. And now when I read that, I was like, no way is that the first AFC team, because the Patriots are in the AFC Championship like every year. I looked it up. The Patriots have never hosted
the Patriots were
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Never. They've been to the Super Bowl multiple years in a row, but they have never hosted the championship game.
Yeah, because they would either win the Super Bowl or get out in the first round.
So, I thought it was a wild stat. I was like,
crazy.
Whoa. So now I wanted the Chiefs to win in general, but now I'm really rooting for them because I think that's so cool that Andy Reid is going to coach two teams in two different conferences.
I do like the Chiefs should obviously make it to the AFC Championship, that they're going to have a tough time with Baltimore because Baltimore's going to beat Tennessee in my book. Baltimore's white hot.
Baltimore's hot. They are.
Their running core is fantastic, and they do have some very underrated receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson currently is just going insane. I do think they'll beat Tennessee, and then Mahomes versus Lamar should be fun if that were to happen. And then you have the AFC Championship. That's nuts. That's crazy. Speaking of the Eagles, you want to talk about the Eagles?
We could talk about the. So how do you feel? How do you feel? You take out Hurts. Now I know we actually had a write-in that someone wanted us to talk about the Eagles, and it's a Giant fan who wrote us in. And he was expecting me to absolutely bash the Eagles. And I was like, and I responded back to him. I said, well, one, you're going to have to listen to what I'm going to have to say. But two, you may not like my complete response because I agree in some sense, but I also very much disagree in another, and I'll explain why. But Andrew, if you want to go first or you want me to go first, by all means.
I'll go first. Mine's probably shorter.
No, mine's pretty short, but okay. Go on, yeah.
I never support intentional tanking, which I think that it definitely was. But that being said, I don't want to hear a single goddamn complaint from Giants fans because you guys won 6 games. You don't have the right to complain. You should have won more games if you wanted to make the playoffs that bad. It was not in the Eagles' best interest to win that game. There was no reason for them to win that game. They're not going to pick one division rival over the other. They're not trying to play God with the playoffs. What they're going out there. Why? I don't agree with intentional with tanking, but like, come on. What reason was there? Was it for them to really go balls to the wall? Let the backup go in so Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt. Who knows? I don't know. Who cares? But that's what I'll leave it with. I don't agree with tanking, but I don't want to hear bitching and moaning from Giants fans, especially not the players. That was disgusting with all them bitching on Twitter trying to, help me, Philadelphia. Shut up.
Yeah, I don't even really have to talk because what you just said was 100% what I was pretty much going to say. I was like, I don't agree with tanking ever. The integrity of the game, don't ever intentional tank. But you have you're not going to go with Wentz next year.
No.
Wentz is gone. Jalen Hurts is now your future. God forbid Jalen Hurts plays a full game and tears it like an ACL in the final game of the season. That means nothing. You just set your team back now for next year because an ACL injury like that towards the end of the year, recovery and everything, he is a good chance that Jalen Hurts then doesn't start next season. So why are you risking your franchise quarterback in the final game for a game that means absolutely nothing?
Yeah, it's the same like when teams rest their players before the playoffs. Same idea.
There's no need.
If this was like a division where the two winners were 10-5 or 10-6, I'd give the Giants a little more leeway. But it's still your fault that you're in a position where you need help from another team. Like maybe you should have beat the Eagles back in October. How about that?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be in this predicament.
They blew it with the Eagles.
Yeah, they lost by 1 point.
Yeah. So you beat the Eagles in that game, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go. So it comes down to you. If you put yourself in a position where you need help from another team, sucks to suck.
Now, do you think it was an intentional tank, though?
100%.
You think
without a doubt? Yeah, without a doubt.
Because I don't think it was. Like I said, I don't agree with the tank, but I also don't think in Peterson's mind he did it on purpose. Because if I was a coach, I was like, I want to save my quarterback. I don't want to risk my.
That's part of it.
I don't want to risk my franchise quarterback in a meaningless game. Just like you wouldn't play Patrick Mahomes in Week 17. You're not risking him for the playoffs. You're not risking your franchise quarterback for next season. The game means nothing to you. So
I mean,
people are saying it's a tank because they're pissed off that they didn't try, but I would say that the Jets more intentionally tanked than the Philadelphia Eagles did in Week 17. I would say that the Jets losing to the Raiders was more of an intentional tank than Jalen Hurts being pulled, personally.
Yeah, and even if it was intentional, like, it obviously wasn't to spite the freaking Giants. It was for draft pick. They moved up 3 picks by losing. That's all it was. I wanted the Patriots to lose to the Jets, but it didn't happen. So I understand.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear all the Giants fans shut up. I don't want to hear anymore. See more tweets from their goddamn players. I can't stand it.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't. The whole NFC East is horrible. So I mean, they have no one to blame but themselves.
And let's face it, the best team in the division won. I think that's clear.
The Washington football team is probably the best in the division.
I don't
right this year.
Yeah,
without injury, you can argue the Cowboys, but
yeah, I was gonna say that if Dak Prescott didn't get injured, I was it again.
If you have Dak Prescott at 100% and Zeke with wanting to run the ball, yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I did lose a lot of respect for Kyler Murray this past week. In the beginning of the year, I loved watching him play, but last week the Cardinals win. They're in the playoffs. It is a playoff game for them essentially. He gets hurt. He comes out, and you see him just chilling on the sideline, not really doing much. He's walking back and forth. Kind of stretching it. He's letting this backup play. When it is you win, you're in.
Mm-hmm. Only
to come in with like 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the man was running and scrambling like he never had an injury at all. I lost so much respect for that man because to me his heart just wasn't in it. Even on the field, his face was just emotionless. Like he just didn't even care if the Cardinals won or not. It is a win you're in type of game, and you have that type of energy. I mean, like I said, if he was injured that bad, he wouldn't have came into the game and immediately started running like he did.
Yeah.
And before he came in, he was kind of just chilling on the sideline, walking back and forth, helmet off, emotionless, no smile, just kind of just chilling. I'm like, what are you doing? If you're that hurt and you're trying to get back in the game, show us that you're trying to get back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And try to get back as soon as you can. Don't just like hang out on the sideline watching your backup not win you the game. Like your whole team. If I'm on the Cardinals, I'm pissed at Kyler Murray right now.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you to an extent. And whatever, the Bears are a much better team than the Cardinals anyway. I'm happy they're in. The Cardinals lost to the Panthers, the Patriots, and the Lions this season. They shouldn't be in the playoffs.
But it's just the integrity to me.
I hear that. Yeah, no, I hear you. Coming from a hockey kind of person, sitting out due to an injury does not sit well with me.
No. Especially when you come back in as if nothing happened.
And when it's a playoff game, too. It was literally a playoff game.
It was literally a playoff game for him. Finally, we have 2 more little things to talk about. Miami choking. We were all finned up all year on this podcast. It's very disheartening to see Miami choke like they did. They had the hardest Week 17 game to make it to the playoffs. Miami fans are turning on Tua, which kind of surprises me.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. The man played like 9 games this year, and like it's his rookie year. Like I give Sam Darnold a lot of
coming
shit.
Off of
I have reason to give Sam Darnold shit.
Yeah.
The Tua really gave you no reason to give
people are forgetting that he's a year removed from hip surgery.
Yeah.
Like
give him time.
And also, what they're forgetting, these Dolphins fans are forgetting. Do you know why I've been fins up all year? Because they should not have been doing what they were doing.
Yeah, this was another rebound year.
This is why I really personally don't even consider it a choke, because they should not have won 10 games. There was no reason for them to win 10 games. Be happy with the 10 games. If you're in the NFC, you would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're playing the Bills. Like
that's the toughest one.
It's the Buffalo Bills. They shouldn't have given up, 52 points, but
Miami defense collapsed.
They did. There was also, Tua did have 3 picks, but the last 2 picks, one of them was a tip. The last 2, he was trying to make a miracle comeback.
Yeah, so
it happens.
You can't. I don't place too much blame on Tua there, and to get be up in arms wanting to get rid of Tua. That's not the move, man. No, I mean, like you said, I thought Miami was going to have 2 top 10 draft picks this year because they had the pick from Houston, and I thought they were going to be bad enough to be in the top 10. But they had the 18th pick because they went 10-6, and I don't think anyone expected Miami to have 10 wins at the end of the season. So
hell no. You know what? They're going to pick third. They're going to get probably that sick offensive lineman, protect Tua, and they'll be
fine.
A wild card team next year.
Yep. Staying in the AFC East, though, the New York Jets officially fire Adam Gase.
You may rejoice.
It's a good time to be a Jet fan. I don't think he gets hired.
No.
What team is going to hire him? He failed 2 teams as a head coach. Look at the Miami Dolphins without him.
Facts.
What general manager is going to look at Gase and be like, you know what? You have a spot on my team. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He has proved to be a bad coach.
Everyone that links him to the Patriots, I'm going to...
Dude, if Gase goes to the Patriots and Belichick turns him into something, I will be so upset.
That's okay. So if he goes to New England, one of 2 things is going to happen. 1, Belichick turns him into a prodigy. 2, Belichick gets arrested for murder. Probably the latter.
Yeah, well...
Stay away from New England. Go to L.A., not New England.
We will definitely see.
Go home.
Anthony Lynn on the Chargers also got fired. He probably should have been fired after he told Herbert to QB sneak, and the offensive line didn't know it was going to be a QB sneak. And Herbert has brain damage from that play. But you probably saw that coming.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I don't want the Jets to take him. I want a brand new. I personally would like a college quarterback. Not college quarterback. Well, yeah, I would want a college quarterback as well, but I would like a college head coach. Yeah. I would kind of like what the Rangers did. I kind of want a younger mind coaching the team.
So here's what might happen, and here's what I really hope doesn't happen: is Josh McDaniels leaves the Patriots and goes to coach either you guys or LA. I really hope that doesn't happen, but I feel like it's gonna. I'm gonna be upset about it.
I'll take him.
I figure. Oh, really? Good. Someone who heads the Patriots offense for the last who knows how long?
I'll take him.
I figure. Please don't leave, Josh.
I feel like it's a sin to go to the New York Jets if you're under Belichick.
You're probably right.
He was our coach for all of one day. Back in the day, he saw the dumpster fire the Jets were going to be and was like, nah.
I'm outie.
But all right, we don't have Thursday night games anymore to kind of predict. Do you want to run down the wild card round and kind of do our picks there and see who gets the most playoff games right?
Sure, but I think all our picks are going to be the same.
Probably. I can't see us really different, being different at all.
Find out.
Let me pull up the games real quick. Let's see. We got the wild card game. All right. Colts and Bills. I'm going with the Bills. Rams and Seahawks. I'm going with the Seahawks.
So am I.
Bucks and Washington. I'm going with the Bucks.
So am I.
Ravens Titans. I'm going with Tennessee.
Oh, I'm going with Baltimore.
Derrick Henry, 2,000 rushing yards. Can't stop that man.
He is a human freight train.
He is.
That is true.
And I think the Titans knocked him out last year. If I remember correctly.
Did they?
The Titans knocked out Baltimore last year.
Did they play Baltimore after the Patriots?
I think so.
They might have. They might have. Yeah.
Yeah, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Who knocked out the Ravens?
Yeah, it must have been them because KC knocked out Houston.
Yes, and the Ravens knocked out the Patriots and had to be Baltimore.
The Titans knocked out the Patriots in the wild card game.
Yeah. So
it had to have been. Yeah, it had to have been Tennessee.
There's no way the Ravens lost the wild card.
Yeah, it had to have been Tennessee.
Yeah, had to be Tennessee.
Yeah.
Bears and Saints. I'm going with the Saints.
Yeah, I'll go with the Saints. But again, like I said before, if Kamara misses that game, I'm picking the Bears. But I will pick the Saints officially.
Browns and Steelers. I got
Pittsburgh.
see, this is a toss-up. Like I said, I think the Steelers are actually the worst team.
This is indeed a toss-up.
If the Browns were fully healthy, I may actually go with the Browns. But with COVID and everything, the Steelers are going to probably win this game.
That was how I felt too. If the Browns were like fully healthy, they'd probably win.
I don't see the Steelers going past the divisional round though.
No, absolutely not. They're going to get smoked by the Bills.
Yeah. But yeah, we differ on the Titans and the Ravens. That could go either way too, honestly.
It really, yeah. It's going to be a very good game.
The spread on that is only 3, so
yeah, that's fantastic. That's going to be a great game. Bucks Washington's going to be a great game.
Yeah,
we got a couple of them.
Absolutely. So we shall see. We have playoff football upon us, which is great, but at the same time very disappointing because that means football season's almost over. And I just don't know what to do with myself. I mean, yes, we have hockey and then baseball.
We got hockey season in a week.
But it's not. There's nothing like football. There's nothing like football. But
I love football, but I am never more giddy than when hockey and baseball season start.
Well, pitchers and catchers next month.
Under 50 days.
So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. We upload every Wednesday at 3 p.m. One more time, smash that like button for Mr. DrewskiDoodle doing the cast with COVID. We hope a very speedy recovery. Looks like he's doing all right, but
I think so.
We hope he gets better soon. For 2021, we hope to actually get like a live podcast together in one room. Maybe we'll see instead of this virtual thing. But we'll try to get that to happen. If you're listening on where you listen to podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. If we see it, we'll give you a shout out. We are available on anywhere that you get or listen to podcasts. But until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week. Get ready for playoff football. And peace out.